Hello?
G'day, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
Not too bad. So is it Guilherme?
Yeah, my name is, you can say like Guilherme.
Guilherme. I have to
Yeah,
remember that
yeah, you
one.
need to remember. Yeah, and your name is Andrew. Andrew.
Exactly right. Andrew. Yeah.
Andrew. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Nicely
And
done.
are you from which country?
New Zealand.
New Zealand? Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess in your country you probably never had COVID-19 in this place. It's like
Uh,
the only country in the world that the people don't have problem with COVID-19.
um, so New Zealand currently has cases, but there's not that many. Like it's the number compared to the population is really low. So, for example, today, well, or for example, late last year had no cases for a really long time. And then we had a few cases early this year. And then maybe a month ago, there was a case of the Delta variant found in New Zealand. And so we've had how many people? I think over like about 1,200 cases over the course of like a month and a half. So, but now today I saw that it was reported that we had like 12 new cases today. So,
I
but yeah,
guess,
for a long
yeah,
time we had zero, which is kind of
yeah,
crazy.
I know, I know.
But yeah,
I guess New Zealand probably is the best country in the world to live without case of COVID-19. Uh,
yeah,
any other place, it's normal to keep seeing people getting this virus, but in New Zealand, I guess
sure.
it's a little bit harder.
No, it's different. When I was living there, because I moved in January, is that last year it went back to normal. So the outbreak happened. Everyone was kind of like working from home for about 3 months, and then people started going back to work, and then but from about July onwards to the end of the year, it was like normal life. You know, we didn't have to wear a mask. Yeah, you go to shops, do whatever. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I don't know the other countries in the world, but in my country, Brazil, we need to keep using the mask and have some people that
mm,
don't like to use that, and we got some problem with
sure.
this. Like in some shops and public events, the people going like,
Yeah,
"Hey, I will not use this mask. This will kill me." I don't know why these people are so stupid at this point, but we have this problem in my country.
yeah.
I
I
don't know
mean,
why, because you only need to put a mask in your face, like in your
mm,
face and your nose too. It's not
your
like
nose.
only
Yeah,
put in your mouth, because I see people like using a
yeah,
mask like that. Like my father used mask like that. He only put on his mouth and uses
yeah.
on
Exactly.
his nose to breathe. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
problem with this. Problem with people that don't want to get vaccinated.
True.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
but I guess it's not so big in my country like in USA. In USA, this
yeah.
problem is like really, really, really hard to fix. But in my country,
Yeah,
not
for
so
sure.
much.
Yeah, it seems to be a bigger problem in the United States on both of those things, which is people not wearing masks, but people being vaccinated. And it does depend on which state that they are from. But for example, so I live in Mexico, so we also have a lot of cases here. But and when you described how how people wear masks, you have like wearing, which is one option,
Yeah,
and then one like you said, like your father, just across here, and then another one which is like this, and then um, a lot of people are just like carrying them in their hands, and it's like, well, that's not very useful. So,
yeah, it's not
so
very useful.
yeah, but yeah, the United States is an interesting problem as well. Like, so I live quite close to the U.S. border. I live in a place called Monterrey, and 2 weeks ago, myself and my wife, we traveled to the United States to have a vaccine.
Well, but you don't have this vaccine in your country, in Mexico. Mexico. Wait a second. I guess Mexico is how you say in Spanish, and
That's right.
Mexico is how I say the name of this country in English. I forgot. I only know in Spanish. It's like
It's more,
Mexico.
it's more like a CKS type sound, so Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah, like that one. One is perfect.
Yeah.
Mexico. So
Mexico.
this it's like this X, or so it's like an ECKS type sound X. So yeah, so the reason why is because in Mexico there are many vaccines that have been approved, but you cannot choose which one you have. So there is
Like you can choose what the vaccine you will get. Is
no
something like
you
this? No,
you
I
can
guess I understood wrong.
no, I think you had it right, which is that in Mexico, there are 6 vaccines that have been approved. So the ones that you expect, so Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna. And then after that, there is Sputnik, Sinovac, and another one I can't remember. And
Sputnik,
so,
I guess, is from Russia. Russia, yeah.
yeah,
We don't have this vaccine in my country. Here we
yeah.
have uh, Oregon. I guess I don't know the name
Okay.
of this in English, but yeah, it's something from the government,
Right.
and every vaccine to
Mhm.
come here need
Mhm.
to how I can explain that in English. Wait a second, I need to translate this phrase. Just a second. Uh,
I think, do you want to say to be?
Approved. Yeah, they need to be approved by this
Yeah,
thing
that's right.
in the government to the people who use this vaccine here. And Sputnik don't get it.
Yeah,
He was not
yeah,
approved in my country.
yeah. So, yeah, so here, like they have approved many vaccines. And so I guess the problem that we have is that organize a time, but we which vaccine we receive. So I could turn up and get Sputnik, and I'm like, well, I don't really want Sputnik. I want I want the other one.
Yeah, I was speaking in this, so yeah, I was right.
Yeah,
But in
that's
Brazil,
right.
it's not like you can choose, but you can know which vaccine you will get in your city. Like in my
Mhm.
city, there was applicating on people the vaccine called Coronavac,
Mhm.
and I don't want to get this vaccine, so I was
Yeah,
in another day when it was getting to the people the vaccine AstraZeneca,
Mhm.
and I got this
Right.
one.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that sounds a little bit more sensible, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, so we went to San Antonio, Texas, and we basically just went into a pharmacy, and they said, you know, fill out this form, show us some identification, and you can choose which one you want. And it's like, okay. Uh, and the main
Sounds
reason
better.
is, yeah, it was really easy, and there was no one else there to have it either, so it was very easy. But the main reason is because if I want to travel back to New Zealand, is that New Zealand has only approved Pfizer and AstraZeneca, I think, maybe Moderna, one like 2 of the 3, I can't remember. But I'm sure it wouldn't be. I'm sure that this wouldn't be a problem. But in case it is a problem, I want to get the one that is approved. So, um, yeah, so that was what we did a couple of weeks ago, and so we'll have
Uh,
to go again.
and why you decided to live in Mexico?
So my wife is Mexican.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
And because that you moved to this country.
that's right. Yeah, um, and so I moved during the pandemic. So I moved in January this year, and um, it was obviously travel was very restricted last year. However, to travel to or through the United States and then to Mexico was much easier for me than if my wife wanted to travel from Mexico through the United States and then to New Zealand, because New Zealand, like you may have read, is that has a lot of restrictions on who can enter and how much you need to pay when you enter, and that so it's a lot more difficult for her. At that time, we were only engaged, so it was harder from a I guess an immigration standpoint. It was harder for that, but now that we're married, then it's a little bit easier if we want to go back to New
Yeah, I
Zealand
understand.
and stay there.
So yeah, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
You will
But
come
yeah,
back to your country.
eventually I
Uh,
think. But I think for the meantime we'll live here. But yeah. Um, yeah, thanks for obviously bringing up about New Zealand, and I'm pleased that you've heard of New Zealand, but also about how it's handled the pandemic as well. So, but yeah.
yeah,
So I know that we've only got a few minutes, but
yeah, I know.
is there anything that you really would like to work on, or you have any specific questions, perhaps, or yeah,
A specific question. I don't know. I only come here in Cambly to talk about casual things. When
sure.
I get a time to study something really specific, like to improve my vocabulary, I
Mhm.
start a lesson with a teacher and I
Sure.
schedule talk about this. So
Right.
I don't have anything specific to talk here.
Sure.
But what I think about my English right now, I never was in any other English speaker country. I went to do that
Right.
when I finished my college and get some money. I went to move
Sure.
to Canada or New
Right.
Zealand or some
Right.
country in UK. But
Yeah.
right now, I'm only studying English and a little bit of French because if I go to
Okay.
Canada, I can choose into place a place to speak in French
That's
and
right.
other to speak in English. So, what do you think? Am I being good speaking to you? Can you understand me very well or not?
Yeah. Yes, I can, of course. Like we've had a conversation for, I guess 13 minutes or whatever, and it's been perfect. There's a couple of things that I've written down that you can work on. So you've used the word choice and choose. So when you have the noun, I have a choice, but when you
Okay,
want to, the verb is to choose.
to choose, but
Yeah,
they mean the same thing or not?
pretty much. Pretty much. One is a noun, so one is like I have a choice to go to this thing, right? But then,
Okay,
but when you are doing the action of deciding, I chose, or in the past, or I choose to do this, is that so
okay,
they are slightly different. So that is the difference between choice and to choose. So that's one thing that I picked up. The other thing was pronouncing th.
pronouncing what? Can you repeat?
So pronouncing a th sound.
Oh, that's really hard to pronounce. That's really hard. If you
Uh-huh.
are someone that is speaking in Portuguese, in Spanish, in Italian, in French, or any other language from Latin, this sound
Yeah,
doesn't exist in my language. This it's
that's
like
right.
doesn't exist. Like the sound of my name. When you say my name, it's like
That's right.
Guilherme. I know
Yeah,
that this sound doesn't exist in English, so it's
that's right.
hard to someone say my name because
Yeah,
doesn't exist. You probably never heard this
that's
song
right.
before in my name. And I have the same
That's
problem
true.
with this. I don't know because I need
Yes.
to put
Yeah,
this virus in
that's
my
right.
teeth and
That's
say
right.
something
That's right.
uses like trot. That word is really difficult to say. That word is really difficult to say.
Yeah,
Look
for
at
sure.
that. It's really hard. It's definitely the hardest
Well,
word to say in English.
you
Yeah,
forgot a
yeah, that
U,
word. Can you
but
say that?
thought.
Thought. Thought.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
nicely
it's
done.
nice because I was practicing this word for like 1 week
Yeah,
to say that
yeah,
correctly,
yeah.
and it's really
Fair
hard.
enough. Yeah, so I think there's only like some small things with pronunciation, like the speed of your speaking is really, really good. Um, and I guess what I would say to you is you can maybe just slow down a little bit, so then you can make sure that you pronounce things a little bit more clearly and make sure that you get that TH sound, because it's very easy to make it an F sound, right? So
I will have more
yeah,
5 seconds. So thank you for that lesson and have a great
no
night.
problem. Yeah, you too. Have a great week.
Thanks.
See ya.